Hi, my name is Riley Allen. This is my review of Season 1, Episode 11 of Manifest, titled Contrails, whatever, you know. So we start off with Ben dropping off Cal back with his mom, and Gracie asking Ben if he can watch Cal again tomorrow. Where Olive is, I don't know. Just fuck Olive this episode, I guess. Anyway. Cal looks at his dad and says, "Nah, you gonna be busy tomorrow. You got shit to do. You gotta help the man from the plane." So, it starts off with them showing the pilots going through the storm or whatever. Yeah, that's the first start of the episode. So he gets home and he gets a call from Daly, the pilot, who takes him to this flight simulator where he shows them the data that the government says was like the flight track. And Ben agrees that, this isn't the flight. This isn't the storm. And they realize that the government's covered it up. And they realize that there was a meteorologist that was willing to testify in Congress before he was advised to retire early. So they'll go there, and they learn from him that it was black lightning, and that he was advised to destroy all his research, but Ben deduces that he didn't, because something so big that he was forced to retire, yeah, you're not destroying that. So he hands it over to Ben and Daly, and it leads to his death as Roger is silenced. Michaela is trying to distance herself from Jared this episode and tells him that you love your life. You love your wife. I love your wife. She's my best friend, and we can't do that to her anymore. Personally, I think the damage is done. You already cheated, but whatever. Okay. Good for you for not wanting to have seconds. I do still feel bad for Michaela, though. She does love Jared. For her, it hasn't been 5 years. That was her boyfriend, fiance, and then he was somebody's husband. So Autumn comes by and spews bullshit about how she was framed by her friends and she needs help catching her so she can clear her name or whatever, when she's there to spy on Cal and Michaela. Now, I don't think Autumn's fully in with the Major. It's just she's very much in too deep. So, yeah. While Michaela and Ben are gone, she ends up breaking in and taking pictures of Michaela's research and rips a page out of Cal's book. Ben goes to Fiona and talks about his theories that he and Daly has. Meanwhile, Daly gets it in his head that Fiona is the one is responsible as working towards the Major. So he realizes that a storm similar to the one that was their flight went through is going to happen again. So he kidnaps her and takes her on a plane and steals a plane. Despite Ben and Michaela attempting to, talk him down from the proverbial ledge, he flies through. And it's unclear if he succeeds in going through time or if the National Guard did shoot him down. But Ben moves both their pictures to the deceased section. They go to their house. When they were trying to find him, they went to his house or his apartment, and Ben noticed all his research, and he wondered if that was what Grace saw in him because, of all his research. They get home, and there's a package from Daly. It's pilot's wings, because in a flashback, it showed Cal was asking the pilot if he had wings to give him, if he could have some wings, as he heard pilots, sometimes gave kids wings. And he denied him that he didn't have wings to give. So that was, I guess him kind of clearing the air. I guess maybe apologized to Ben for, kind of screwing him over a little bit, I don't know. I don't think Daly is necessarily a bad person. It's just he kind of got in too deep. I guess he went through like is it weeks or months? Whatever. He went through weeks of, being slandered by the media, which I guess, could really fuck with a person's mind. Being the one blamed. Not defending his choices, though. That's absolutely shitty. I'm guessing in the next... And it ends with, them realizing that Michaela was the one that told the Major, as she told Autumn. And that Cal was here. So Ben tries to immediately call Grace to warn her about Cal. Grace goes to check on Cal and he's missing. So I'm assuming next episode it's going to be trying to find Cal. There's most definitely going to be an argument between Ben and Grace. Absolutely. I don't know. Yeah. Absolutely. There's going to be an argument. That's a prediction from me. I think Michaela's going to still try and, do the avoid Jared stick. I don't know how well it's going to work. I do love that when the captain was signing off, he's told Ben that he's the captain of the ship now. The passengers are his responsibility, which I'm just like, dude, they already were. He made sure of that. But yeah, I did kind of love it because it was a proverbial passing of the torch. Just confirming that Ben has taken upon himself to be the leader, and to protect these people. And it's mostly due to his, son, who's having all these visions and whatever. But, he's also doing it because he's Ben, and he's a kind, caring person. Kinda. It is mostly for his son, but it also is because, he is a kind person. Overall, I really enjoyed this episode. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you in the next video.